Okay, we're going to check the present perfect. We're going to review the present perfect. So remember that I sent you this book. Les había enviado este libro so that you can have access to more phrasal verbs. Viene por temas o también puede ser por por palabra clave, right? One second. Is this one? Okay, one moment. Okay, so this time we're going to check some phrasal verbs. Okay, we have come. Could take. Ok. Vamos a revisar en esta clase phrasal verbs utilizando take. Okay, so here we have three different sections, and each section has a group of phrasal verbs, and they will work with some exercises. All right, so welcome everyone. We're going to start. So we're going to see in the first section three phrasal verbs. So the first one is take apart. Do you have also take back? We have take aside and take off. All right, so son los phrasal verbs que veremos en esta primera sección. So I would like to ask Javier, if you could help me please read the first paragraph, please. Let's go. First paragraph.
Okay, teacher. If you take apart something or take something apart, you separate into its a different parts. Roll loves taking clothes apart, but never manages to put them together again.
Yes, we see manages. Manages. Very well. So the first one is take apart. So take apart, it's when something is maybe old or maybe it's broken, so it's divided into different pieces. All right. Aquí, por ejemplo, habla acerca de los relojes. ¿Verdad? Roth ama desarmar relojes, right? So that can be one meaning. Take apart puede ser intencionalmente desarmar algo. But take apart also can mean when something is very old, it's broken, it's torn. So it's like como si se está desbaratando, se está destruido, está muy viejo. All right. So that's the meaning of take apart. You can say that you are taking apart an object, right? Quizás estás desarmando algún objeto, or maybe something is being taken apart. Algo se está desarmando, literalmente, right? Y se está se está quebrando, se está cayendo en pedazos. Es una manera de decir, take apart. Okay, very well. Let's check the next one. Take back, please, Diego.
Sure.
Yes. Let's hear. Yes, Javier, tell me.
Entonces, podríamos take apart, funciona entonces poniendo taking, el objeto que vas a desarmar, y apart, o podemos decir nada más take apart a clock.
Dice taken porque aquí está antes el verbo love. Pues como son dos verbos, entonces dices Rod loves taken.
Okay.
Si no hay un verbo antes, no hay que poner el ing. Esto depende de love porque aquí dice Rod ama desarmar. Si no pones taken, entonces la oración diría Rod ama desarma y no ama desarmar. Entonces depende de lo que quieras decir. Aquí dice, si tú take apart, si tú desbaratas algo, quiere decir que lo separas en distintas piezas.
Okay.
Okay. Yes, that's just... Yes?
¿Y eso no para objetos?
It will be weird to be used with people. A lo que me refiero es que lo puedes utilizar con personas en el sentido de que ellas pueden desarmar algo. Pero, por ejemplo, puede ser que una persona esté desbaratada, pero sería raro, ¿no?
Como metafórico, pero ahí, teacher, no sé, no es común usarlo.
Okay, yes, you can say like my heart is taken apart. Yeah, you can say metaphoric. Yes, why not? That's a good thing to use. Let's check the next one, take back. In this case, we know already the verb come back, que checamos la clase anterior. Come back is regresar, pero que tú regresas, right? A person comes back. Now, take back, it's similar, but it's not the same. I would like to hear from Diego Quiñones. Can you please help us read the next paragraph? Well, the next two paragraphs.
If you take back something or take something back, you return into the person or organization that you bought or borrow it from. When you're going into town to take back your library books, could you also take these trousers back to the shop for me? They're too small. Oh.
Excellent, very well. So here we have the next one, next sentence is take back. So when you take back something, it's because you borrow it. Tú lo pediste prestado. So you take it back. Okay, you take it back, you receive it, now you take it back. Okay, that's the difference with come back. Come back means yo regresé. Take back is yo regresé algo. All right, so that's the meaning of take back. Yes.
Take apart, ¿qué era?
Es separar, desarmar. También es para decir que algo está desbaratado o destruido porque está muy viejo o ya es muy usado.
Y take back es reemplazar algo.
Yeah, that's correct.
Teacher, en un ejemplo puede ser I take back my notebook is good.
You can say I took back my notebook. You can also say I took my notebook back to the... bueno, pero si es tuyo, no lo regresas, ¿no? No sé,
Yeah.
quizá. I took her notebook. I took back her notebook. I took her notebook back. So this is a separable phrasal verb. Este verbo es separable. Es decir, que podemos meter algún objeto en medio, right? En este caso, her puede ir, her notebook. Esto puede ir entre took y back, o podemos poner el took back juntos y poner her notebook al final. Esto, hay algunos que son separables y otros que no. There's no way to identify them, we just need to learn them. Lo mismo take apart también es separable, ¿se fijan? Aquí dice taken plus apart, pero también puedes decir take apart clause.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, very well. So let's read from, okay, so take back means regresar algo. Please, Lisbeth, help us with the next paragraph.
If you take a seat, somebody takes somebody a seat, ¿se pronuncia dicho? A seat?
Se dice take aside.
Aside. Okay, you separate someone from a group of people so that you can speak to them privately. My boss took me aside at the Christmas party and told me he was going to give me a promotion in the new year.
Very well. So take aside means to Okay, imagine that you and I are in a group with some people, but I need to tell you something privately. I need to tell you a secret or something that other people can hear. So I take you aside. That means let's go to a more private place and let's talk. That is the meaning of take aside. Take aside also means to, similar to take apart, but take aside is that, okay, for example, I have this pencil and pens, right? So I will take this yellow pencil aside, all right? So lo voy a separar, right? I'm going to take this aside. So as the context here, take aside is you are with a person, you want to talk privately, so you go and you talk to them so no one can hear you. No sé si se entendió. Did you understand? Take aside.
Yes, teacher.
Very well. So that is take aside, right? It's separate a person from a group or separate a thing, an object from a group. Okay, now we can have, please, Jorge Ochoa, the next paragraph.
If you take off, you suddenly leave a place without telling anyone where you are going. Most people stayed at the party until quite late, but Rose took off early for some reason.
All right, thank you. So take off, we learned that, for example, take off, you can use it when your clothes, right? So I take off my shoes when I enter home, right? You can take off your shoes, you can take off a hat, you can take off any clothes. Now you can also use it for the plane, right? The plane takes off. El avión despega. You can also say that, right? The plane takes off. And in this context, take off, it means that a person vanishes, right? You say vanish es desvanecerse, como esfumarse, irse de manera muy rápida, muy repentina, okay? So, yeah, that's the meaning of take off. So take off, you say this person only arrived and they left, right? Como que comió y se fue, comes y te vas. Sería así como take off, esfumarse, desvanecerse, irse muy rápido. In this context, some phrasal verbs have several meanings. Yes?
And take aside.
Take aside means separar algo de un grupo, separar a alguien de un grupo. Take aside, aquí en los ejemplos que tenemos es de yo tomé a alguien y lo separé del grupo para poder hablar con él. I take them aside, all right? Or you have, for example, group of some things, algunos objetos, es bueno, voy a separar this yellow pen from the others. Entonces dice take aside, okay? But in the case of, yes, take aside se utiliza así, take apart, que no, cuidado, se pueden confundir, ¿no? Porque take apart podemos imaginarnos que eso es separar, pero take apart es algo que se está desmoronando, algo que está destruido, está muy viejo, entonces se parte en pedazos, right? Now, when you intentionally separate something, cuando tú separas intencionalmente algo, se dice take aside, and take aside, you also use it for talk to someone privately, cuando quieres hablar con alguien en privado. Do you have any questions about any of these phrasal verbs?
No.
Teacher, can you repeat, please? Take a back.
Cuidado, porque take a back también existe, pero ese es take back. Take back quiere decir regresar un objeto, quizá algo que te prestaron, maybe it can be the book from a library, and then you take it back, regresar algo. Si tú regresas, si tú quieres decir yo regresé de vacaciones, entonces tú dices come back. Come back is for people, take back is for objects. Or you can also use it for people too, también se puede utilizar para gente, ¿no? Like take me back to the old times, como regrésame a los viejos tiempos, to take me back. Okay, very well. Any questions?
Thank you.
No? Okay, very well. So check that these phrasal verbs, right, can have different meanings. Pueden tener diferentes significados, algunos de ellos. And some of them you can separate them and some others is not common, right? Now your partner said something, she said take a back. Este take a back, así como lo escribí, también existe. Take a back quiere decir que algo te sorprende, que algo te, pero en un sentido malo, right? When you say it took me aback, es como me tomó por sorpresa una mala noticia, right? Or I will, for example, I was taken aback when I heard about the news from the submarine that was going to see the Titanic. Me sorprendió por las noticias del Titanic, del submarino que ahorita fue que no sé qué le pasó, que ya no lo encontraron. So that took me aback. Tú puedes decir, I was taken aback. Eso quiere decir, eso como que me sorprendió para mal. Ajá, pero ese se escribe así con un A, con la A antes de back. That's a different thing. Okay, very well. So the best way you can think, maybe it's difficult, right? And yeah, the truth is that most of these phrasal verbs, you won't memorize them only by reading the book. You actually need to listen to music. You need to watch some series, some movies, and that's how you can learn them, right? More in the use. And remember, these phrasal verbs are not literal, no son literales. Entonces, rara vez van a revelar su verdadero significado a la primera. So you need to try to memorize them, right? Because, por ejemplo, take, no sé, por ejemplo, take off, puede ser que no nos imaginemos que signifique despegar, pero significa despegar, por ejemplo, para un avión. Okay, let's continue with some others. Now the next section, in abstract sense. Okay, so please, Julian, can you read the next ones? We have the phrasal verb, we have the meaning and the example, please.
Sure. Take up, or teacher, no recuerdo cómo se dice eso. Take up shot.
Eso significa, es una abreviación de something.
Take up something or take something up, meaning start doing a particular job or activity. Example, my son has recently taken up stamp collecting as a hobby.
Yes, so take up is a way of saying start doing something, empezar un hobby, una nueva actividad. Is more than an activity that you do once, más que una actividad que se hace una vez, right? Por ejemplo, quizá no diría como I took up cooking, por ejemplo. Quizá no lo utilizaría como empecé a cocinar. Este phrasal verb. ¿Por qué? Porque este take up es más para un hobby o una actividad que es más, vamos a decirlo, como un pasatiempo. Entonces, si yo dijera I took up cooking, a lo mejor quiere decir que estoy tomando clases de cocina o que, no sé, me voy a dedicar de manera profesional, something like this, right? So you use take up when you start doing a new activity, something that is a hobby for you, something that you enjoy. Okay, so that's...
Lo podríamos utilizar como I take up English class.
I take up, aquí esos phrasal verbs tienen algo. Todos ellos terminan en una preposición. Entonces, después de un phrasal verb, vamos a utilizar ing. Entonces, tú dirías, sí, puedes decir, I took up, puedes decir, I took up English classes. También se puede decir, es separable el phrasal verb. Puedes decir, I took English classes up. Eso quiere decir que comenzaste clases de inglés. Y si les quieres añadir un verbo, con do, que tiene que decir con el ing. So I took up learning English classes or taking, pero sería como doble take, ¿no? I took up learning English classes or I took
Ya learning nada más sería
English classes, classes up.
learning English.
Perdón,
Sería learning English.
sería learning English, ¿qué? Perdón.
O sea, learning es aprender, tengo entendido. Learn es,
Ujú.
ok, sería I took up learning English. Sería así nada más, sin el class.
Ah, right. Sí, si ponemos entonces ahora el verbo learning sería sin classes. Exactly. Si no hay verbo, pues quedaría claro diciendo English classes. I took up learning English. I took learning English up. Se puede separar, poner el up al final o ponerlo antes del learning.
No hay forma de, o sea, cualquiera de las dos está correcta, no hay ninguna que digas esta lo utilizas para acá.
No, no, and here it says, y aquí por ejemplo, si un verbo fuera inseparable, el mismo libro nos diría. Pero estos verbos, como pueden ver, puede ser take up something or take something up. O sea que puedes poner el up al final. Es separable. And it means the same. Significa lo mismo.
Teacher, no entiendo por qué lleva el verbo en pasado.
Ah,
Y en el
porque-
ejemplo es take.
Porque, bueno, esto puede ser como tú desees. Puede ser en pasado, puede ser en presente futuro, en presente perfecto, puede ser en futuro. Aquí es como tú lo quieras poner.
Yo empecé a aprender inglés.
Ajá, empecé. Y aquí, por ejemplo, the sentence, esta oración dice, mi hijo ha empezado. Entonces, pues es prácticamente lo mismo. Puedes decir he empezado o empecé. También puedes decir I have taken up learning English or I have taken learning English up. Depende, puede ser futuro. Empezaré, puedes decir I will take up learning English. Both of them. Okay, very well. And let's see, please, Angie, help us with take off.
Take up. STH or take STH off. Subtract a particular amount from a total. Example, the shop assistant took up 10% because the item was damaged.
Yes, very well. Okay, perfect. So it says we have in this case take off, que es otro significado de take off. So take off es, quiere decir descontar. Ok, aquí tenemos el contexto en compras. Es hacer un descuento. All right. So aquí dice el asistente, bueno, la vendedora o el vendedor descontó 10% porque el objeto estaba dañado. So take off also can mean this thing. Si hacemos una recopilación de lo que significa take off, remember take off, for example, with a plane, ¿qué quiere decir take off? Si lo utilizo con un avión,
Despegar,
Despegar.
despegar. Si lo utilizo con ropa,
quitar,
quitarse, very well. Si lo utilizo con alguna, bueno, con una persona o conmigo mismo, es como desaparecer, irse muy rápido de un lugar. Y take off aquí también quiere decir descontar un precio de algo, right? So yeah, it has several meanings, tiene muchos significados. Very well. So we continue, right? So we have the take off, and let's continue now with take away. Please, Jorge, help us read take away.
take away something or take take something away. Subtract a first number from a second number. If you take 11 away from 33, you're left with 22.
Yes, so take away means restar. Okay, take off, descontar, take away, restar. Si a 11 le quitas 33, te quedan 22. If you take 11 away from 33, you're left with 22. Okay, please César, take back. Este es otro significado de take back.
Yes, teacher, take back something or take something back. Admit that something you said was wrong. I shouldn't have called you lazy. I take it back.
Very well. So it means me retracto de lo que dije. Take back, retractarse. Take back.
Teacher,
Yes.
podría ser como sinónimo de apologize. Como
Not,
disculparse.
not necessarily. Take back is simply admitting. Take back es solamente admitir. Es decir, me retracto de lo que digo. Pero
Ok.
arrepentirse, así exactamente no. No sería apologize. Por ejemplo, no podría utilizarse con algo que hiciste. Aquí, por ejemplo, se está disculpando por algo que dijo. Pero no se puede utilizar el take back con algo que hiciste. Because it's not possible. Okay.
Es solamente como retractarse de lo dicho.
Retractarse. Exactly.
Okay.
Yes, that's correct. Please, Osvaldo, help me with, yeah, some questions.
No me quedó claro el take away, es restar entonces.
Take away, restar. Ajá,
Ok.
very well.
Aparte de ello,
And-
¿tiene otro significado, perdón?
¿Tiene otro significado? Take away could be. We would need to check the context. Tenemos que leer algún contexto. Let me see if I remember some. Puede ser remover, puede significar remover. He escuchado creo en alguna canción que dice have been taken away. Entonces take away sería restar, remover algo, también podría ser. For example, they have taken away our dreams. Se han robado nuestros sueños. ¿No? You can say they have taken away our dreams. No sé, es algo que ahorita recuerdo. But honestly, most of the phrasal verbs, you will see them, right? You will hear them. And that's how you know the meaning with context. Muchas veces con el contexto se puede saber lo que significa, se puede deducir. But the thing is that you also can use them. También los pueden utilizar. Okay. Osvaldo, can you help us please with taken?
Yes, taking something or take something in. Look at something careful, noticing all the details. He showed us a photo of his house, but I was so tired that I didn't really take it in.
Exactly. So taking is look at something carefully, noticing all the details. So in this case, it's prestar atención. Taken. Nos enseñó una foto de su casa, pero estaba tan cansado que no le presté mucha atención. Okay, so taking is like paying attention to the details. También taking puede significar meter algo, ¿no? I don't know. Take your stuff in the car, take your stuff in the house. Para meter literalmente algo dentro. But, well, depends on the context. Muy bien, de este cuadro, de esos phrasal verbs, ¿alguien tiene alguna duda? Okay, very well. So we continue. Now we're going to check the next section and more phrasal verbs. Please, Emmanuel, help us read this paragraph.
The letter C.
C. Letter C, please.
Other sense of take. Lucy has started swimming regularly She has taken out a year's membership at local sport club and has taken to going to the swimming pool every lunch hour. She is so taken up with her swimming that she wouldn't, ¿cómo sería ese techo, perdón? Wouldn't, ¿no?
Wouldn't, muy bien sin la L, wouldn't.
Wouldn't even take me up on my offer to buy her lunch in the best restaurant in the town. The excite certainly takes it out of her. She is too exhausted to go anywhere in the evenings. It's okay?
Yes, it's okay, thank you. Now, Humberto Javier, please help us read again, but we will translate. Vamos a ir traduciendo y el significado de los phrasal verbs. You see the number here, for example, here's the number 1. So here's the number 1, 2. Here's the number 2, so here's the number 2 as well. And a number 3 and so on, so we can read the meaning. Vamos a ir traduciendo este párrafo. Bien, te escuchamos, please, Humberto.
Sí, Lucy ha iniciado
Muy bien.
nadando regularmente.
Aquí swimming es más como natación. Ha iniciado natación. Bien, continuamos.
Ella ha tomado take out o ella ha salido. Ella ha tomado.
Muy bien, taken out. Entonces, ahí viene el significado de taken out, porque como muchos phrasal verbs, a lo mejor podemos pensar, pues taken out es tomar algo afuera, pero no tiene que ver en este caso. Tiene un significado oculto, ¿no? Ahí está, number 1, nos dice qué quiere decir abajo de este párrafo.
Suscripción a un registro para algo oficial.
Exactly. Entonces, sí, esto, take out, es otra manera de decir, por ejemplo, sign up. Sign up es suscribirse, registrarse o quiere decir también enrolarse, inscribirse, right? Entonces, en este caso, take out es un poco más como en un club donde obtienes una membresía, right? So take out could be like afiliarse. ¿Ok? Entonces tienes sign up, que es como para este tipo de actividades, y si es un club o algo así, decimos take out, que es afiliarse.
Ok. Entonces aquí donde dice años de membership, ¿es la membresía?
Exactly. Y dice se ha afiliado a una membresía de 1 año.
Un local de club de deportes y ya take two.
Y take two, que quiere decir, también aparece el significado.
Que ha iniciado algo o hecho algo después.
Ok, so take two. Ya recuerdan que vimos take up, right? Take up, que es empezar a hacer una actividad. Ok, si eso ya te empieza como a obsesionar, se dice take two. Ok, so she has taken to, ha empezado a hacer algo ya más frecuentemente. So we would say first level, primer nivel sería take up, empezar a hacer algo. Luego take two, como con más frecuencia y con más ganas. Then we continue, seguimos leyendo. Entonces se ha como envuelto en ir a nadar a la alberca cada hora de lunch. ¿Qué más sigue diciendo el párrafo? We translate.
Ajá. Ella además take up. Era
Ajá.
tres. Dice que es muy ocupado haciendo algo. Está haciendo algo muy
Yes, so take up with, which says the next level. Entonces, primer nivel, take up. Después take to y después with. Esto ya es como estar muy obsesionado haciendo una actividad. Very busy and very obsessed. Take up, take to, and take up with.
Dije que su natación no debería, no debería. En
Aquí
este caso,
vamos a
even,
leer nuevamente, dice,
no,
she is so, que decir, está tan obsesionada con su natación que hasta que ni siquiera, even es ni siquiera. Y tenemos que, para entender lo siguiente, take upon. ¿Qué significa take upon?
que ni siquiera toma. Mi es yo, no me toma.
Muy bien. Este take up on tiene un significado oculto, ¿no? Number four. Ok. Accept es aceptar algo. So take up on, si el up, ya vimos que es take up con varios contextos, pero si le agregas on, ahora esto significa aceptar. Aceptar una oferta. Entonces dice, ha estado tan obsesionada con su natación que ni siquiera me aceptaría mi oferta de comprarle lunch en el mejor restaurante de la ciudad o ir juntos a comer, ¿no?
De la ciudad.
Ujú.
El ejercicio, no sé qué significa certain,
Certainly means ciertamente.
ciertamente. El ejercicio ciertamente tomó hacer su sentir de cansancio muy cansado.
Ujú. Ciertamente la hace sentir la absorbe mucho. Ujú. La absorbe mucho, está tan cansada, tan exhausta que no va a ningún lado en las noches. Okay, thank you. So that's the meaning of take out of. Take out of is when you are tired. An activity can be your work, can be exercise, anything, but it like squeezes you. Se puede decir como que te exprime al máximo. It squeezes you, so you don't have any energy left. Ya no te queda nada de energía. Okay, so ya no can be crazy, especialmente con el take up, porque take up ya le agregamos distintas palabras y puede significar distintas cosas. So, any questions so far? ¿Alguien tiene alguna pregunta aquí?
Teacher.
Take up on es aceptar o como, ¿cómo se había dicho? Aparte de aceptar.
Ajá, take up on significa aceptar.
Pero no tiene otro significado.
Take up on, así los tres juntos, no. I don't think so. A veces, si son phrasal verbs de dos palabras, pueden tener varios significados. Cuando son de tres, ya no. Ya solamente tiene un significado fijo. Okay, so exercises. Now we're going to exercise. I'm going to read this paragraph and you tell me if the phrasal verb is correct or not. If it's not correct, we need to make modifications. Les voy a enviar a todos una foto de esos phrasal verbs que vimos y ahora vamos a hacer estos ejercicios con los phrasal verbs que acabamos de aprender. So let me send you something here. One moment. Ok, bueno, ya les envié las imágenes. Ahora vamos a estar viendo estas imágenes y contestar estos ejercicios. So I'm going to start reading and you help me, you tell me if it's correct. If it's correct, no need for modification. Si está bien, pues no hay necesidad de modificar. Si no, entonces corregimos. So for example, watch was broken, so I took it off to the shop. Aquí dice, el reloj estaba roto, así que lo devolví a la tienda. Aquí el texto estaba mal, decía off, cuando en realidad hay que utilizar back. I took it back to the shop. So we need to do the same. Si hay algo que no es correcto, entonces vamos a... The next line says, I bought a new jacket, but it had a mark on it, so I took it back. So what do you think? It's correct or is not correct?
Correct.
It's correct. Sí, porque tenía una marca y la devolví, la chamarra. Okay, we continue. The shop assistant took me off-site and told me that. El vendedor, para decir, me llevó a hablar en privado. Decimos
Correct.
off-site. It's incorrect, exactly. No es correcto, so we say.
Take aside.
Take aside, exactly, not offside. So took me aside and told me that if I was prepared to keep the jacket, she would take away 10%, le descontaría 10%. Es correcto decir take away. Check, I think it's letter B, es la sección B. No.
Take off. Take off.
Take off, very well. So take off. Dijo que si quería quedarme con la chamarra, me descontaría 10%. I didn't really take in what she was saying at first, but once I understood, I decided to take her over on the offer. Ok, entonces no estaba como prestando atención a lo que estaba diciendo al inicio. Entonces, taking sería correcto para prestar atención.
Yes.
Yes, it's correct. Very well. Perfect. But once I understood, pero una vez que entendí, decidí aceptar su oferta. Digo, take over. Take over, is that correct? Or not?
Take up on.
Take upon,
Take upon.
with. Eso es estar muy obsesionado, right? ¿Cómo se dice aceptar? Aceptar una oferta.
Si es take
Okay,
up on, ¿no,
check.
teacher?
On.
Mm,
Yeah, take up on.
Take up on.
yes, you're right. Yes, you're right, guys. Very well. Take upon. Entonces, acepté su oferta. Take up on. Very well. Any questions so far? Okay, so with this same phrasal verbs, you have the homework for the next section. En la siguiente parte, esa se queda de tarea. Con estos mismos phrasal verbs, we complete the text, and according to the context, we write the correct phrasal verb.
¿Qué página es,
Okay.
teacher? Perdón, ¿de libro es?
Page 29, página 29. If, let me see, I think I sent you the link. Creo que yo les he enviado el link para descargarlo.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can download it. There it is. Y así pueden estudiar sus phrasal verbs, los pueden estudiar por tema. Por ejemplo, aquí hicimos lo opuesto. Aquí fue por una palabra clave, que sería take. but you can do with the same, right? Aquí también, por ejemplo, viene phrasal verbs con put, phrasal verbs con make, and so on. Okay, very well. So now we move on. Yes.
No estuve en la primera clase de phrasal verbs, pero ¿cuál es la diferencia entre un phrasal verb y un modal verb?
Modal verb, bueno, modal verb es otra categoría de verbos. Si son, por ejemplo, could, would, will, might, may, esos son modal verbs. Son verbos modales. ¿Ok? Entonces, por ejemplo, si tú utilizas can, que es un modal verb, can ya es un verbo auxiliar en sí mismo. For example, I can go. Puedo ir. Como pregunta sería, can I go? Entonces, can es el mismo verbo auxiliar. Y todos los modal verbs se conjugan igual con todos los pronombres. Es decir, dices, I could, you could, he could, she could. A eso se refiere modal verb. Phrasal verb es cuando es un verbo más una partícula, es decir, un verbo más otra palabra. Y cambia su significado. Por ejemplo, puedes tener give, y give es dar, pero si dices give up es rendirse. O give away significa regalar. And so on.
Okay. Thank you, teacher.
Very well. So now we continue with the next topic that we saw during this unit, that is the present perfect with for and since. Okay, so I would like to ask, please help me, Laura Esteves, can you read this chart and can you tell me a little bit about the present perfect? Vamos a leer esa sección, please.
Use the present perfect with for or signs for past
Or
action.
since.
For since.
Cuidado, porque science es ciencia, since.
Okay, for since. For past action and events continue into the present.
Okay, very well. Hasta ahí está bien. So we talk about experiences, solamente para experiencias que tuvimos en el pasado. For example, I could ask you, have you ever gone ballooning? ¿Alguna vez han ido a un globo aerostático? So when I ask this question, is not if I care about the time. No me interesa tanto cuándo lo hiciste, sino si hiciste realmente esto o no. Remember that we saw in previous classes, we saw this activity, right? Have you ever gone on a cruise? Have you ever gone mountain biking? Have you ever gone rafting? Have you ever gone sailing? Entonces, es para hablar de nuestras experiencias que utilizamos el presente perfecto. So, how can I make sentences in present perfect? What is the present perfect? So, you can recognize the present perfect because we have the auxiliary verb have and has. So, having has significan right? For example, I have, yo he. And the next part is the past participle. So, you can say, I have eaten grasshoppers in Oaxaca. Okay, he comido chapulines en Oaxaca. So that's an experience. So I say, I have eaten, esto es yo he, y esto es comido. ¿Cuándo? Bueno, eso no nos interesa, más porque lo que me interesa es decirte que yo he tenido esa experiencia. Si defino el tiempo en el que esto sucedió, entonces puedo decir, por ejemplo, I have eaten grasshoppers in Oaxaca. I don't know, you can say 6 years ago, hace 6 años. Pero en este caso, si ya defines el tiempo, es mejor utilizar el pasado simple. Es decir simplemente, I ate grasshoppers in Oaxaca 6 years ago. Entonces, comí saltamontes hace 6 años. Porque ya nos mencionas hace cuánto sucedió. Okay? So that's the difference. We use the simple past when we know and we want to mention when they happen. Cuando tenemos un estimado o sabemos cuándo sucedió, utilizamos pasado simple. Si no nos interesa eso, usamos más el presente perfecto. And I would like to show you, I don't know if you know this guy. His name is George King. Let me see, because he has an interview from Vice. public sitio.
Descarga el pack de Boca Stickers. What the fresh.
Ok, bueno.
Encuentra el
Otra
auto para
publicidad. One second.
rentar con el mejor precio, ubicación, tamaño y mucho más. Busca en Kayak
Let's
hoy.
see. So, you know this guy? ¿Han visto videos de este tipo?
It seems as though
Well,
there's lots of
So they are called extreme climbers. Se les llama, ¿cómo se les dice? Escalistas, no. Bueno, eso ya en inglés son extreme climbers porque escalan lugares extremos sin ninguna protección. Okay, very well. So these guys, they are climbing buildings or they climb mountains, usually illegally, right? Because they're not supposed to be there. So we're going to check in this interview. En esta entrevista le hacen preguntas y él responde utilizando presente perfecto. Okay, so let's learn about this guy. ¿Por qué empezó a hacer eso? Sí, ha ido a la cárcel. Sí, ha ido a la cárcel for doing this. So let's see. Let's learn about him.
It seems as though there's lots of little different demons inside of me, and the more I give to them, the more hungry they get.
Whoa!
My name's George King, and I'm an extreme athlete. I climbed some of the tallest buildings in the world. There's no safety equipment, really just chalk and, I mean, sometimes it's barefoot. And when it comes to surveillance, is that, yeah, I have to adopt different identities and disguises so that I can get the information I need. I've climbed the Shard. That was probably the most notable one. I thought I knew it all at 19, but I was a little kid. If I knew what I knew now, the process would have been a bit different. I was met by different police officers. I kind of just put my hands out to get arrested. When you climb a building, it's like everything's in slow motion, everything's precise, everything's clean. Every sense is heightened to optimize your survival. Every neurochemical, serotonin, dopamine, endorphins are all firing at once for one particular reason, your survival. And it takes you to a place which I can't describe, but I can feel to the bone. I think that's the very feeling I feel as though I constantly have to chase.
My name is Casper Wiley and I've known George for about 14 years, I would say. We went to school together. There was a playground at school and I'd film him try and do things that he wasn't meant to be doing in the playground, like jumping off the places he shouldn't, climbing the things he shouldn't. That's how it started.
I must have been a teenager when I moved.
And I'd
They were in the same school, right? Ellos iban en la misma escuela, entonces dice que desde pequeño hacía cosas ilegales.
Film him try and do things that he wasn't meant to be doing in the playground, like jumping off the places he shouldn't, climbing the things he shouldn't. That's how it started.
I must have been a teenager when I moved on to.
Aquí tenemos una oración en presente perfecto. Debía haber sido un adolescente cuando me movía los cranes. Los cranes son como estas grúas, estas que ven que son grandes y, well, to work with buildings. Este que ahorita, bueno, se van a tener una mejor vista, right? So he started when he was a teenager.
Cranes, and then things escalated from there.
Como esa estructura que ven, esta se llama cranes.
He became enchanted by cranes, not just climbing them, but he almost became obsessed with them as an architecture and understanding how you can climb up them, walk along them, the process of breaking into a construction site and climbing them. When he first climbed one, I remember he said it was one he could see from his bedroom window. He asked me to film it and I refused to film it because at that point I suddenly realized he was taking things too far. When he got older and even better at climbing, and he just made it absolutely clear to me that it was going to be his life, I kind of just like stopped telling him not to do it and just went with it.
I was on a school art trip from Oxford to London. I was 13 years old and I saw the Shard, and instantly in that moment, I felt my destiny was somehow surrounded by this building.
The Shard is one of the most important buildings in London, in the UK. It's 310 meters tall, right? Very, very tall.
Dominating the skyline is the Shard, standing at 310 meters tall.
Maybe it was because it was the tallest in the UK and I had this ego thing where I wanted to be number one. The planning was around 8 to 12 months.
And that was when I was actually living with him for 8 months in Leighton in London.
I had to visit this building well over 100 times and I didn't want to create pattern recognition. I didn't want the security to see this person coming every single day. So I had to switch up my identity quite a few times. One of the ways that I do that is I adopt different disguises.
Looking at our mail in the apartment, there'd be like a fucking beard or like a weird pair of sunglasses. Like, this can't be for us, you know. And he's like, oh no, mate, it is. I'm dressing up as a whatever, and you know, I'm like, okay.
Sports kit. I'm a gym goer. I've got a protein shake in one hand and I'm run to the Shard. I go up to a pillar and I stretch on the pillar. See that it goes from my wrist to my elbow. Okay, that's all I need.
He'd be lying on the floor, measuring his body on the kitchen floor, putting duct tape to kind of map out what all the poles to go up the Shard looked like. His room was like a mastermind's room with pictures and things all over the Shard and ways to get in.
And I'd spray some aftershave on, I'd wear the suit, and I'd become this office worker. I noticed that when people have a cigarette, they look aimlessly. I don't smoke, I have a cigarette, and I look in a gaze, and whilst I'm in this gaze...
Will you feel scared? Yeah, Diego asked about the vertigo. Yeah, do you feel vertigo? Will you feel scared if you were such a high place? Is any of you afraid of take out the alcohol with no alcohol? Okay. Is any of you scared of heights? Scared of heights es miedo a las alturas. Is any of you scared of heights?
Quizá hay un poco, teacher, a una altura muy alta, ¿no? Como lo que sale allí en el video.
Yes, and if there is no security or kind of unsafe place, right? Yeah, it's very, it's very scary. Okay, so he has practiced a lot, right? He says that he was planning everything, right? He has even climbed other small buildings.
Like a bench in London Bridge Station, assessing every single bit of movement. So for example, 1 o'clock in the morning, security goes from hut A to hut B, note it down. 2 a.m, there's an announcement, note that down. 3 a.m, cleaner goes from platform 9 to platform 10, note it down. And I'd find correlations amongst the data to find the most prime time to strike. I didn't sleep, I tried to sleep, I didn't sleep. The climb was set out around, I don't know, 5 o'clock in the morning. And I go into the London Bridge Station, I'm there, finally, this is my moment. I'm zoning into this and that, and the senses are so heightened. What it comes down to is I take a deep breath and I submit to the process.
And I got a video of George halfway up the Shard at 6 in the morning before work for me. And to actually see him on like this little figure on the Shard, to see him after 8 months of him talking about it and dreaming about it and it being like every part of his life, it was a very surreal moment. It's surreal for anyone to see, but for me particularly because I know how much it meant to him.
When I was climbing the building, there's a particular moment which burns deep to this day where I see like a maintenance man through the window, and he looks at me, and I look at him, and like I just give him a little wink and a nod, and he waves at me, and I wave at him, and I just like, it was just such a surreal moment to see the look in his eyes of sheer horror but excitement and thrill, and just it was a very profound feeling and experience. I'm on top of this building and looking over London, and all these years of dreaming and months of planning have finally come true. I'm there living my dream. I was met by different police officers. I kind of just put my hands out to get arrested, and they shook my hand. I trespassed on an area which shouldn't be trespassed, and by doing so, I'm in contempt of court.
All right, so they're saying that if you trespass that area, that you can go to jail.
Trespass, and by doing so, I'm in contempt of court. I was sentenced to 6 months in
6 months
in adult prison, and I ended up serving 3 months of that sentence.
When he went to prison, he like wrote pages of these ideas on what he wanted to climb next. It was so ironic that he went to prison to look back at how he'd done something wrong, but actually just spent the time planning his next missions, you know. He's good at just taking on anything bad or good and just seeing it as an interesting experience.
It's all subjective to people's view on what I do, you know. Adrenaline junkie, thrill seeker, athlete, artist, explorer, you know. I don't really know what the fuck I am.
A crazy man, I forgot to mention.
Woo! I have to adopt different identities and disguises, but at the same time, what I do...
You know, these are the kind of videos that give me anxiety. Like him, there are so many other YouTubers, and just los YouTubers que hacen esto, like standing on the edge of a building or a cliff. It makes me very anxious. Esto me da mucha ansiedad el solo verlo, because you might just can be the air and so high and can move your body. A esa altura un fuerte viento te puede empujar.
Woo! I have to adopt different identities and disguises, but at the same time, what I do, the principle of it is raw, it's real, there's nothing fake about it. It's as real as it gets.
He's just an unusual guy. I think sometimes it's as simple as that. He has made...
Otra frase del presente perfecto. He has made me a lot more excited about being on this planet. ¿Qué creen que quiera decir esta frase? Dice él, me ha hecho estar más emocionado acerca de estar en este planeta.
Me, a lot more excited about being on this planet because of some of the ridiculous things he's done.
Okay, very well. So, we have here a couple of questions that I would like to discuss with you tomorrow. Okay, vamos a hablar acerca de estas experiencias día de mañana. Bueno, will be more conversation using present perfect. Intentaremos que mañana sea una clase con más conversación, presente perfecto y phrasal verbs. Okay.